kickoff football on My TV 30. Mother Nature's not keeping them off the field tonight as the Lebanon Blue Devils host the Riverdale Warriors in the first round of the 6A playoffs on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. And it is great to be back under the Friday night lights. Great to be with you on My TV 30. That's the former Vanderbilt Commodore Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica. This guy's been braving the elements, an hour-long delay with storms sweeping through Middle Tennessee. But we're playing football tonight as for the third time in the last 5 years, Lebanon hosts Riverdale. Last 2 times, Lebanon sent Riverdale packing. They say third time's the charm. Riverdale's not banking on any luck tonight. They're here for revenge.
Absolutely, and it's a big challenge trying to find some competitive Week 1 TSSAA football playoff games. I expect a good one here tonight.
No doubt about it. So let's take a look at the keys to the game, what it's going to take to win it for the Riverdale Warriors. Got to fly to the football, Bruno, and get these Lebanon ball carriers on the ground.
Absolutely. It's going to be gang tackling, not only so that way so you can hit those TFLs and those short yards plays, but it's huge just to take loads off your front seven too, right? You want them to be healthy in the third and fourth quarter. You're going to have to do that by gang tackling early, getting them out of their mojo. That way you can avoid that physicality there that tolls on at the end.
Yeah, very run-heavy Lebanon offense. Blue Devils head coach Chuck Gentry told us this week, this is not an offense built for 3rd and 14. They've got to avoid the negative plays.
Absolutely. You got to stay ahead of the change. You can't have any mental errors from the offensive line. Procedure has to be good. Now you have this added element of a little bit of a delay. It's going to be a challenge to the mental of these football players.
Certainly the conditions may have an impact tonight. The rain has mostly cleared, and that is certainly good news for one player in particular, and that's Riverdale junior quarterback Gavin Hampton. As we take a look at our players to watch, we got a chance to watch him last week on Friday Night Rivals, and man, this kid can spin it. 2,300 yards, 24 touchdowns.
Very high-level raw prospect. And I mean, raw doesn't really do it justice. He looks refined out there when he's playing. I was interested to see how he was going to warm up in Hampton. He looked like he was going to be able to sling it all night tonight, even with the elements. So keep a lookout to go over the top.
And we mentioned that run-heavy Lebanon offense. Well, it all runs through the running back, Gian Azeda. What a season he has had. 1,300 yards. Bruno, that's with missing 2.5 games due to injury. They're going to have to funnel that attack through him tonight.
Absolutely. They mentioned that they couldn't be healthier coming in tonight. And Azeda, he's going to be the bell cow. If there's any chance at the quote-unquote upset tonight from the home field Lebanon Devils, it's going to come from Azeda.
Win or go home. The stakes are high. A second-round spot in the 6A playoffs on the line tonight. So before kickoff, let's bring in the third member of our crew, Sammy Kincaid, for an injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bartram Injury Law injury update, let's start out on the Riverdale side of the ball. Out tonight will be left tackle LeBrian Shelbourne. He is out with a torn ACL. Flipping over to Lebanon, a lot of good news for Lebanon. They're getting a lot of guys back tonight, but before we get to some of those guys, out tonight will be wide receiver, linebacker, Earl Legs. He is out. He just had surgery on his collarbone, but they will be getting J.D. Stafford back tonight, running back DB for the Blue Devils, so that's big news for them tonight. That's your Bartram Injury Law injury report. Whenever we come back from break, we're going to have coin toss, kickoff. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
It's win or go home playoff season in Tennessee, and the Riverdale Warriors hit the road to Danny Watkins Stadium in Lebanon to take on the Blue Devils. It's a 6A first-round postseason showdown, and we've got it for you right here on MyTV 30. But before kickoff, let's go down to the field for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss. Ahead of this game, Craig Phillips, our white hat tonight, getting both teams together. Riverdale winning the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half, so it will be Lebanon football to start us off on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Great to be with you. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth, Sandy Kincaid downstairs. Now a beautiful night after an hour-long weather delay due to storms passing through. It is a nice 61 degrees on this November night in the postseason. In what is the 38th ever meeting between these two, Riverdale dominates the series 26-11, but Bruno, it's Lebanon who's had the upper hand recently, winning the last two, both playoff wins in 2021 and 2022 here in this building.
And if you don't think that's a talking point that's been in the locker room this entire week, you're sadly mistaken, because I know deep down that this historical stuff matters, especially when you're in this one-for-all sort of part of the season where it's winner take all.
And here we go. We're underway in the first round of the 6A playoffs. Manier fields Weaver's kick inside the 5. The Warriors gave up an opening kickoff touchdown last week in the loss against Oakland. Not going to happen here as he's chopped down before reaching the 30-yard line. And this Lebanon offense will come out onto the field, a group that has averaged over 25 points per game, a ball-controlling unit led by the senior quarterback, Austin Harrison, who's done a nice job directing this group as an efficient passer, a dual-threat quarterback. But they want to run the football, Bruno, and they stick to it.
Lebanon's going to try and establish the run early. Remember, our key to the game for them, they have to stay ahead of the sticks. No negative plays. They're not an offense that can handle a 3rd and 14.
And just like that, we've got whistles before the first snap of the game. Don't see any flags on the field.
Chalk that up to a little referee operation, just getting it, it's just a prank.
Just respotted the football. Ball on the 29-yard line. Harrison in the gun. The give to Azeda. Around the right side, he weaves his way across the 30, and he is tussled down into a collection of Riverdale Warriors defenders. He picks up 3 on the first play from scrimmage as we look at our offensive starters presented by BMC Metalworks. Azeda, 1,300 rush yards on the year, 16 touchdowns. He's had a huge season. Gavin Gregory, the number 1 option for Harrison, the junior quarterback. As the Blue Devils will look to establish themselves here on the opening series. And time of possession is something that Lebanon wants on their side. And right back to Azeda they go. This time up the middle, trying to push the pile to the 35. Just barely gets it there. Another pickup of 3, and it just keeps Lebanon on schedule here as they get into a 3rd and 4, right where this offense wants to be.
Yeah, and you can see there's a little bit of a read. I don't know how much of a give they have. I thought right there would have been a good opportunity to show a takeaway from the quarterback, Harrison, just so that way it keeps the defense on the edge.
Here's the defensive starters. Lead tackler in the middle there, Aiden Emmons, the senior linebacker, who goes sideline to sideline. Going to be big tonight on 3rd down. The screen near side is dropped, incomplete, as Harrison unable to connect with J.D. Stafford, the junior, returning after missing a long stretch with injury. Has not played since week 6 this season, and his first action back. Can't connect with this quarterback. Lebanon 3 and out on the opening series.
Well, I mean, if you're going to compete with Riverdale in 6A football level, those type of plays have to be automatic, in the flat, open, right? Can't think yards after the catch a little too early. Have to secure it.
Eli Jimenez set to punt it away. Nobody back deep for the Warriors, as they'll let it bounce across the 30, and it will be down at the 27. That's where Riverdale will come out for its first series on offense, and this is a unit that can throw it all over the football field behind junior quarterback Gavin Hampton. What a year he's had, And we got to see him up close and personal last week, Bruno, in that loss at Oakland against one of the best defenses in the state. 268 yards in the air, 3 total touchdowns. Was a huge test for him, but his head coach, Will Kreisky, said wasn't surprising. It's what he's done all season.
Absolutely. This Riverdale offense has a lot of weapons on the edge. One of the more surprising ones was Luke Trich, who was the freshman, really making a name in 6A football early in his career.
Contrasting styles on offense going head-to-head here for a spot in the second round of the 6A playoffs. And once again, we'll get whistles before the snap.
Well, if we're going to prank Lebanon, we have to prank Riverdale, too.
Yeah.
We have to be fair.
That's just good officiating. Quick substitution, maybe a uniform issue as freshman Luke Trich runs off the field. And here we go on 1st and 10. Jacob Vaughn up the middle. He gains 4 or 5. It's a pass-heavy Riverdale attack, but the sophomore Vaughn can tote the rock. And he's done it all season, averaging nearly 6.5 yards per carry. And it brings up 2nd and 5 for the Warriors.
I know it's early in the game, but these second and shorter situations can be a real potential for shots as we see Hampton in an empty backfield.
All spread out. Hampton, quick throw over the middle, shaking off tacklers is Braylon Burns. He sprints down the sideline. Burns still up at the 10. Touchdown, Warriors. On play number 2 of their opening drive, Braylon Burns takes it 68 yards to Pater.
They don't call him Burns for nothing. That was the 7th gear. That might be the fastest I've seen a football player move this entire season on Friday Night Rivals. Watch how he beats him to the edge, and he's able to shake a few tackles too. That's how you control the same style of play that Lebanon want to do on their 3rd down. Riverdale hits it on their 2nd and 5. And it was what was not meant to be a real big strike turns into the first explosive play of the game.
So Riverdale with a statement start to this playoff matchup. Braylon Burns, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. And the Warriors, after the extra point is good, hold a 7-0 road lead here on MyTV 30. Riverdale head coach Will Kreisky has to be a happy man after that start to the football game. Forcing a 3-and-out on the opening drive, and then on play number 2 from scrimmage for the Riverdale offense, 68 yards to the house. Gavin Hampton connecting with Braylon Burns as we welcome you back. Week number 1 of the postseason here in Class 6A. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth, Sammy Kincaid downstairs. Will Kreisky, year 9 as the head coach at Riverdale, looking to avenge the last 2 trips here to Lebanon, 2021 and 2022. Dramatic losses for the Warriors against these Blue Devils, and he wasn't shy about it this week, Bruno. He hasn't forgotten about it.
Man, you want to talk about a little bit of karma. When we were setting up for our opener on the field, I saw Braylon Burns was getting a little bit heckled by this Lebanon student section, and he was pointing at them like, hey, I'm going to remember that one, and sure enough,
just like that, Riverdale with an early lead, and Manier takes the kickoff from Weaver, weaving across the 20, and he's popped, brought down. Helmet comes off from a Riverdale Warrior. And coming off the field is Elijah Reams without his hat, and Lebanon comes back out on offense. And just like that, the Blue Devils take a punch and look to find an answer. Physical early here in the first round.
Looked like Manier had a chance to make an explosive play of his own out of the special teams. Busby, I think, got a little bit blocked into his own returner.
So here's a chance for Lebanon to come up with the response. Senior quarterback Austin Harrison keep it on the ground. This is J.D. Stafford, the junior, looking for the right end. Got some speed to the sideline. That's a nice first down pickup for Stafford. A bit of a Swiss Army knife for this Lebanon offense. Went down with an injury back in week 6, but before that, he filled in for running back Gianna Zeta when he was out injured, and he picks up 7.
It's going to be a tough ask for him to break those potential TFLs in the backfield over and over again, but from an offensive philosophy standpoint, attacking the edge, then up the middle, attacking the edge, then up the middle. It's a good way to stretch and take advantage of this tough Riverdale defense.
And that keeps Lebanon ahead of schedule. They go back to the ground game as Zeta, his first carry of this drive, spins across the marker, and that's a BMC Metalworks first down for the junior back.
Lebanon finding themselves down a little bit early. But they do get set. It's weird. They want to control time of possession, but they're all a little set on the field. So sometimes you want, as we take a look at Coach Gentry, the head coach for Lebanon, sometimes, though, you want to change the pace. You might try and control all the time, but then you're like, our guys need to get in the mojo. And you might go a little hurry up or a little faster.
Chuck Gentry has completely turned this program around. Hired in 2016 in his 9th season, as this 1st and 10 play is blown dead. Don't see any laundry on the field. There's been some early operational stuff in this one. A game delayed an hour due to storms sweeping through Middle Tennessee. But with 8.5 minutes to go, Riverdale with a big play on offense as the Warriors on top. Harrison. Early movement. There's the flag.
It looked like he was going to get away with it, and then he rejumped.
So now we will hear from our official tonight, Greg Phillips.
54, 5-yard penalty, play first down.
It'll be on number 64, Cameron Litchfield. It looked like he jumped just a little bit. The Riverdale defense pointed at him, and then he jumped a lot of it right after that. So a little bit baited into it when he got away with it. Got his hand stuck in the cookie jar.
That makes it 1st and 15. The key to the game for Lebanon for us was avoid negative plays. That's the first penalty of the night. Back to the ground they go with the Zeta. His head coach described him as a bowling ball, and they have just run this rushing attack right through the junior as he fights back 4 of the 5 yards lost due to penalty. He's averaged 8 yards a carry this season.
To give the people back at home what an expectation for a running back is, anything above 4 is considered efficient, which is really, really good. He is doubling that total currently.
2nd and 11. Harrison on play action, steps out of pressure, he goes down. Sacked from behind, Julius Molden getting home his 8th sack of the season, and it brings up 3rd and long for this Lebanon offense.
8 sacks on the season, and only in the first round of the playoffs, just shows how dangerous of a rusher Malden is. And you can see it's not off the initial move. It's not getting up early. He actually finds himself behind Harrison, and he comes from behind, tracks, and is explosive to the point. Just a great motor and a great effort there.
Earned that number 31, something that's become a bit of a special tradition in the Riverdale program after the Herring brothers came through, both wearing that number and both doing big things at the collegiate level now. Screen pass on 3rd and long, going nowhere for TJ Searcy. Riverdale swarming to the football. Getting up with the flex is Gale Lara, the junior, and it brings up 4th down, another punting situation for the Blue Devils.
Man, our key to the game for this Riverdale team was to fly to the football. And Coach Gentry, you have to imagine what he's thinking right now, seeing the flow of the game. You never want to panic too early, but sometimes you blink, and it might be 14 or 21-0 in a playoff game early.
Jimenez punts it straight up. Again, nobody back deep for the Warriors. And it will roll to the 36. So out comes this Riverdale offense once again. And we'll get a look at the road team on offense for the second time tonight as they lead Lebanon on the road 7-0.
Welcome back to Lebanon High School, where they are currently hosting Riverdale. Riverdale leads 7-0, and I am joined by Staff Sergeant Stephen Mitchell. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and thank you also for your service.
Ma'am, thank you.
And can you tell me, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
Our mission is what makes us different compared to other branches, that we have a dual mission. It makes us unique, so we can be deployed by the governor of our appropriate state and help out in times of disaster, or the president can call us up to go defend the nation or help out our allies.
And what jobs can somebody have in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
Well, that's up to you. When you sit down with your recruiter to go through the process to enlist, you're going to go over different jobs that you have opportunities to try out and go with. We have several different jobs. You can go from infantry, aviation, military police officers, or even human resources.
That's awesome that there's so many different career paths that you can take, and everyone talks about the benefits of being in the military, but what benefit is specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
Our specific benefit that we really strive with is the Tennessee Strong Act. It's our college benefit. So what it is, it'll pay 100% college tuition and fees for all in-state universities and other colleges. It'll cover a bachelor's and up to a master's, depending on which way you go. And then, of course, we got decent health care as far as price goes, and dental, and then we have a 401k type of benefit that you can take with you even if you don't do 20 years.
That's fantastic, and so great that they take care of you in that way. And again, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for joining me down here today.
Absolutely.
And thank you to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, I'll send it up to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Riverdale fans are thanking Gavin Hampton after a 25-yard scramble, showing off that dual threat ability for the junior quarterback. Collecting offers left and right. Mississippi State, Nebraska, Maryland among the programs that have come knocking for Hampton, the Ravenwood transfer. And he's already got his Warriors in plus territory on the second drive of the game. Gonna go deep here, looking and intercepted on the near side. Lebanon coming back the other way, crossing the 25 and pushed out of bounds. That is TJ Searcy stepping in front of a pass intended for Riley Talley. And that will breathe some life into this Lebanon crowd as the Blue Devils will get it deep into Riverdale territory just like that. A 54-yard return after the interception.
The exact explosive play this Lebanon team needed.
You're in the line, Lebanon. That's their first. First and 10.
So sideline warning on the Blue Devils. Won't cost them any yardage as we take a look at the first turnover of the game.
Yeah, it looked like Hampton just didn't have a good handle on the football and just lost it, and really just went right to Searcy. That's one of those ones you're just like, please don't drop it. If you're a Lebanon football player watching it soar through the sky, he really should have house called that for 6, but I don't think the Lebanon defense had a lot of practice in blocking in certain situations like that on the sideline, but they're able to flip the field and get into the red zone.
See if they can cash in. Suddenly, Austin Harrison back on the field. Little trickery. Azeda hands off to Stafford, pinging off of tackles as he reaches the 20, and the forward progress will have him marked down there. So that is a pickup of 6 for J.D. Stafford, and Lebanon's in business with 5:05 to play in the first quarter.
Multiple misdirections. Azeda knew exactly where he wanted to hit it, too. Had a lot of speed coming into the line of scrimmage. Hurry up.
And early movement. That's on Lebanon, and we'll back him up again. Chuck Gentry frustrated. What a job he's done at this program. Hired, formerly was the offensive coordinator at Cookville. From that job, took over here at Lebanon for a program that hadn't had a winning season in 10 years when he took the job, and quickly led them to that first winning season under his watch in year 2 back in 2018. Fast forward to 2021, Bruno. Lebanon was 11-2 and in the quarterfinals after beating this Riverdale team right here on this field. Chuck Gentry has flipped the script on what determines success for Lebanon football.
Absolutely. He finds his team a little bit behind early in this, I guess, playoff rematch that Riverdale and Lebanon have found themselves in the past 5 years. Coming off of an explosive interception when Riverdale looked like they had everything under control. Now they're facing a 3rd and 10 in a run-heavy offense.
Clock moving past the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. We'll get it back up for you as soon as we can here on MyTV 30. Riverdale with an early lead. Lebanon trying to capitalize on the interception by TJ Searcy. Once again, this is a Zeta, and flag quickly whistles in as Riverdale wrestles him down. Sloppy start here from a penalty perspective. Both of these teams coming off a loss that ended their regular season. Trying to bounce back. Here's Craig Phillips.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
So that will bail Lebanon out of their penalty yardage. But not an automatic first down at the high school football level. So best it'll do for the Blue Devils is set up a 3rd and short.
This Riverdale defense has played so physical against the run up to this point. I have to imagine that it's still going to be an uphill battle even on a shorter down and distance.
Need to reach the 15 to move the chains. Stafford looking to throw, airs it out. Searcy's there, it's caught. Lebanon celebrating, Riverdale running it back as though they picked it off. Hudson Fuqua, the safety, and they're going to call that a Riverdale interception. Chuck Gentry saying it's a touchdown. Riverdale suddenly celebrating the turnover.
The officials are calling it on the field that it's a turnover, though.
Let's take a look here. TJ Searcy, the man who picked off Gavin Hampton to put Lebanon in this place, looked like he came up with the touchdown, and ball came out at the very last moment.
So in the pinpoint accuracy that we have as a crew up here watching on TV and on replay, it looks like Searcy has the control enough to designate a touchdown. But at the very end, it does pop out behind, and it could be sold as an interception. I thought for sure that was a touchdown, but the officials on the field just confirmed it is a turnover.
Lebanon taking a timeout. Chuck Gentry is going to have a discussion here with Craig Phillips and his crew. I mean, this is one of the closer officiating calls we've seen all season on Friday Night Rivals. Obviously, no replay for the officials to go back and look to reverse the call. So unless there's some sort of conference here to go back on it, Bruno, the call on the field is going to be a Riverdale interception by Hudson Fuqua, the lead tackler of this Riverdale defense, and would be his third interception of the season for a guy that's also collecting plenty of Power 4 offers. Let's take a look here. At what point is it an incomplete pass? Did Searcy have control in your mind?
It actually looks like he is bobbling the football in a rocking situation with his hands. I think you can make the call either way. With our replay, I think the touchdown is probably the safest call. But from the official standpoint, I can see how they see that as an interception.
That's one of those that if you had a replay review, it would be so hard to overturn.
It would be another hour delay
Right.
of the game.
Well, it would just be so hard to overturn the call on the field.
Absolutely.
However it was called, but it's going to be a Riverdale interception. Wow. So the Warriors take over on their own 19 with 3:14 to go in the first, and a 7-0 lead as Jacob Vaughn rockets down the left sideline, and a flag tails on the play. Early drama here in the first round of the 6A playoffs. And that's going to be on the Warriors.
This game is certainly chaotic in the most beautiful way so far.
Nothing wrong with a little high school football weirdness to kick off the TSSAA postseason. So they will back it up, and here's another sideline warning on Lebanon. Second one of the game on the Blue Devils, but it is Riverdale with the 10-yard penalty, backed up to their own 8-yard line.
If you're a consistent watcher of Friday Night Rivals, you're going to have to look at the TSSAA rulebook for me on these sideline warnings. I've seen penalty yards called without warning, and I've seen a team get 3 warnings this year without yards.
Now they will apply the sideline warning. So they stepped off the penalty for the hold, and they've given Riverdale the 5 yards for the second sideline warning on Lebanon. It's the second that gets you penalized, and Craig Phillips and his crew make sure they get that right. Still, first and long for Riverdale, 15 yards for the first down. Gavin Hampton, after an interception on the last drive. Keep it on the ground with Vaughn, fighting to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Juwan Stafford, a key leader for this Lebanon football team, who really helped orchestrate this turnaround from the 2024 season where the Blue Devils missed the playoffs. And here they are at 8-2, hosting again in the postseason against the same team that they bounced from the playoffs twice in the last 5 years. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Riverdale 7, Lebanon nothing. And a game that was delayed an hour due to weather in Middle Tennessee. Hampton put it in the air on 2nd and 11. Has his freshman Luke Tritch sliding catch at the 31. His first catch of the game. And it moves the sticks to BMC Metalworks first down for the 9th grader. Rare enough for Riverdale to play a freshman regardless of position, but for one to be starting and to be such a key figure in this offense, Bruno, as he's approaching 650 receiving yards on the year.
What I like about these Riverdale players, no one on the outside is wearing any gloves on their hands, especially in this weather. It's getting me a little going.
And off Vaughn has blockers, steps across the 40 and slips up before he reaches midfield. May not be the first time tonight we see some slippage. The amount of rain that came through, I mean, it was just driving for a few hours leading up to kickoff, and let's see, losing his footing there. You didn't mind, though. You were sitting out there about an hour just.
disassociating. I just love getting to the action. I hate build-up.
Man.
I hate waiting. I hate bus rides. I hate hotels. I hate pregame dinners. I just want to get to the game.
I mean, everybody in this building is crowded in the press box, and people asking, who is that down there by himself on the field? Oh, it's just Bruno. Going through his pregame routine, getting soaked. It's worked for you your whole career. Who am I to judge? Jacob Vaughn, another carry, and this run game really opening up for Riverdale now. Stays on his feet across the 30 and out of bounds.
This game so far has been absolute cinema. I think that's the longest I've seen a player get dragged by their jersey and break the tackle. Very good job by Vaughn in these field conditions. Just slipped, and now he looked like he had the most balance of any football player in history.
It's a 28-yard carry. And Vaughn up to 50 yards on the night. Another young player for this Riverdale offense, only a sophomore. The bell cow back for Will Kreisky's football team. 1st and 10. They'll continue to feed Vaughn. And ball's on the ground. He scoops it up and prevents the turnover. Searcy hits him down. And Riverdale survives again.
I'm having the most fun calling a game I've had all year. This is so wacky. It doesn't look like anything causes Vaughn to drop the football other than just maybe slipping out between himself and the jersey. What a first quarter we've had so far. 33 seconds left on the clock. Looks like we'll get one more play in the fourth quarter.
Opening stanza here at Lebanon. Riverdale trying to build on a 7-0 lead. Hampton. Looks like he got Gavin Gregory with the hard count.
Part of the snap.
And that will be on Gregory. An important player for this Lebanon defense. The cornerback who Chuck Gentry says he trusts to match up with any of these talented Riverdale receivers. That time he jumps and it gives Riverdale a free first down. Ball on the 19. Into the red zone for the first time tonight. The Warriors. Vaughn. Tussled down inside the 15. Riverdale opened the scoring on a 68-yard catch and run by Braylon Burns. On only the second play from scrimmage. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. A little wet and wacky to start the first round of the 6A playoffs. Riverdale leads Lebanon on the road 7-0 on MyTV 30. our national anthem moment presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Took a while to get there, but we did. An hour-long weather delay, and the first quarter is in the books here in the opening round of the 6A playoffs. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you. Sammy Kincaid downstairs. We'll hear from her in a little bit. Chuck Gentry leading his Blue Devils, frustrated after a play where it looked like Lebanon had a touchdown, but TJ Searcy just letting the ball pop out of his hands before he really secured it, and Riverdale picked it off in the end zone, and the Warriors are trying to turn that turnover into points here, already with a 7-0 lead. Gavin Hampton, the talented junior quarterback, on 2nd and 5, needing to get inside the Lebanon 10. Pitch play, Vaughn strung out to the sideline, and he tiptoes his way out of bounds. Short of the first down as Amari Manier led the way to push out the sophomore.
I have to imagine Riverdale will probably stick on the ground for this down and distance, and if it just so happens that they need one more down, they'll go for it on 4th.
Picks up 3. Jacob Vaughn, only a sophomore. 2 years ago, playing middle school ball. One thing his head coach said he has improved at tremendously is just running through the tackles. Learned pretty quickly at the 6A level. He's not going to outrun everybody like he did back in middle school.
Absolutely. We're seeing tonight.
See if Riverdale keeps feeding number 25 here. They do. And Vaughn just fighting to the marker. Will be close.
See what the referee signaled.
Looks like they're going to call him just shy of the first. And 4th and short is coming up for the Warriors.
So Hampton also swinging his leg, acting like he's going to kick it. I don't think that's the case. Had me fooled for a minute. And yeah, you can see it's called just short.
This is certainly within the range of Riverdale kicker Miles Weaver, but less than a yard to go. Warriors are going to QB draw with Hampton out of the gun. He's got the first down, pushing for the end zone, and he is stopped just short. See that 6'4", 190-pound frame. Another reason why so many Power 4 programs have come calling for Gavin Hampton services. Had some help from the big boys up front.
All 22 football players were in the box. That's why 4th down is so awesome. It's like a goal line play, but the entire field's behind them. And we're back in the same formation right now. Same exact play potentially coming up.
Hampton going to try to punch it in. Spinning off tackles. He's in. Gavin Hampton scores his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and Riverdale's an extra point away from doubling the lead.
There's something spiritual and out of body. There's nothing better than calling the same play twice and being successful with it back-to-back as often. It just gets me going. Gavin Hampton getting his own number called, doing it with his legs.
I just watched you have flashbacks to your SEC days. Staring off into the distance. I love it. Weaver for the extra point. Knocks it through, and Riverdale is in control on the road here at Lebanon High School, fighting for a spot in the second round of the 6A playoffs. The Warriors on top, 14-0 early second quarter on MyTV 30.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
All Riverdale early. Will Kreisky's team is back at Danny Watkins Stadium and looking to avenge a couple of playoff losses that happened here within the last 5 years. And they're about a fourth of the way to doing it. Early second quarter, 14-0 after a 10-play, 82-yard drive. Riverdale capitalizing on an interception in the end zone and turning it into 7 as Lebanon gets set to get the ball back here, and Chuck Gentry's football team is trying to find a way out of it. And you talk about the difficulty level of that challenge, Bruno, for a run-heavy football team in a 14-0 hole. Still early, plenty of ball left. How does Lebanon start to dig out of this at home?
Well, it starts with having someone call their own number and being a big-time playmaker and making a play. And we can take a look at some of our brackets here in 6A. Dobbs been on the top. Maryville, Westridge, I think they're just finishing up right now, Lucas, in East Tennessee.
Yeah, Maryville with a 41-7 fourth quarter lead in that one. So safe to say that it'll be a trip to East Tennessee for the winner of this one against the powerhouse program. But that's what's on the line tonight between these two. Back deep for Lebanon. This time they'll put Jamoni Busby. Weaver teeing it up. Busby, Stafford, and Manier all deep. Short kickoff. He fielded inside the 25. It's a quick sprint to the sideline, and making the most of it is Jackson Harris. So it's the best starting field position off of a kickoff for this Lebanon offense, as they'll get it depending on the exact spot near the 40-yard line. Ball spotted at the 38. Austin Harrison back out to lead this group.
See J.D. Stafford off the field on this play.
Lebanon only 26 total yards of offense so far. Chuck Gentry, the head coach and play caller. Zeta disappears under the pile. Caleb Woods makes the stop. Gains about 1.5 yards.
And if you're Lebanon, I mean, the run first offense, it's so hard when you're behind, right? The clock just ticks away from you, and it's hard to cover explosive parts of the field. They had a good thing going with attacking the edges, going up the middle, but Riverdale just too stout, too explosive so far. Lebanon, the few times they tried passing it, just hasn't gone their way.
Stafford in motion. They'll throw that way. J.D. Stafford can't hang on. Second drop of the first half for the junior playmaker. And Chuck Gentry told us this week, we want to get him the football however we can. We're such an important player, racking up over 500 yards of offense in the first half of the season before he went down, Bruno. And just now getting back for the first time since week 6 as we're into the playoffs, and just an acclimation process for the junior to reintegrate himself into the offense.
I think acclimation and process are two very good words to use, because you can see there's kind of a lackadaisical body language from all the Lebanon offensive players right now, and I think it's just going to take a spark that could potentially happen here.
See if they find it in the air, and here's Searcy at midfield. That's a first down catch. The senior receiver. Good for 14 and a Bart Durham first down for the Blue Devils.
Seriously, probably having the game that all 11 players on the Lebanon offense and defense need to start having.
Had the interception before on defense and has a pair of catches on offense, but they go to the ground with Stafford here, shedding tacklers across the 45 into Riverdale territory.
Something I'd like to see is they're letting the clock tick down. They want to control time of possession. When you start getting in a groove like this, though, kind of let them dictate their own terms and their own speed as an offense.
Picks up 5. See if that gets this Lebanon offense into a groove. As Harrison, the quarterback keeper, jets up the right side. Dives towards the marker. May have just enough. The senior quarterback did a nice job running the football for this group. They will move the chains. He's averaged almost 7 yards a carry, and this is a guy that's played safety. He's played cornerback for this football team, and this is his first year playing quarterback, but no stranger to tucking and running Austin Harrison.
Lebanon had a lot of people on the point of attack there. They're going to have Riverdale outnumbered on the right hash of the field, but I would like to see that offensive line go a little bit more reckless abandon when they're having those pulled plays right there. That way it gives your running back more space, will allow him to open up.
Play action, pressure coming, hit as he throws, ball sails out of bounds. Austin Harrison took a big hit from behind.
It's from Levantez House, senior defensive lineman.
And it brings up 2nd and 10.
Take a look at the top part of your screen. Beats it with an inside rip and an outside movement. That's a tough way to try and block in the open space. Very good move from the defensive lineman.
Blue Devils avoid disaster there, and how about a trick play? Finding a Zeta who's got room. Gianna Zeta slicing into the secondary down the sideline. And Lebanon going deep into the playbook to move the sticks. That one picks up 19. And it gets the Blue Devils into the red zone.
Speaking of deep, they were going deep into their own backfield. It was like one pitch into another pitch. I was like, uh-oh, going backwards. You can see that Riverdale defense covering a lot of ground. The pass was low, but Zeta doing a good job of getting it up. Getting up the field and converting the first down. Blue Devils are starting to threaten.
Only a 6 catch out of the backfield this season as Zeta does a nice job with it. And Lebanon just trying to get on the board here in this first round of the 6A playoffs. Harrison escaping, throws incomplete. A little high for his man Zeta, trying to go back to the running back.
The worst thing you can see as an offensive player is the ball get tipped up in the air. That's defensive potential right there. And at this part of the football field, you cannot turn the football over. At the very least, you want to try and control some yards. If you go for it on 4th down, you have Riverdale pinned in negative field position, but you cannot turn the football over here.
Lebanon's last trip into the red zone did result in a turnover in the end zone on what looked to be a touchdown that had Blue Devil fans celebrating and turned into a Riverdale interception that led to a touchdown drive for the Warriors to go up 14. Zeta behind blockers. Or that's Stafford, rather. Pushed back. No gain on the play. 3rd and 10. Field goals have not been part of the equation for the Blue Devils all season. They'll have 2 downs to convert this year.
They've shown they're not afraid to get away from their run and go across the air, but a lot of their more flat passes that they use to try and cover ground, they just can't convert. Either the ball's a little too high or gets tipped forward, or the receiver's trying to get a little more too much yards after the catch without catching the football and securing it first. They've had some success underneath over the middle.
And this feels like a big sequence here for the Blue Devils. Over the middle, tip ball incomplete. And it brings up 4th and 10. That time trying to find Jonah Gardner, who had him for a moment and just getting a paw out there. Looked like House. Direction Fuqua breaking it up.
Yeah, getting a hand in the window. Just a very smart football play. Good job by using his eyes to watch the quarterback's eyes and get into Harrison's throwing windows.
Big opportunity here for Lebanon as Riverdale will get the football to open the second half. So a failure to convert here would allow the Warriors to rip off another time-consuming drive and get it back to start the third quarter. And the timeout on the field.
called by Lebanon.
And that's their second timeout of the first half. Chuck Gentry wants to talk about it. With 6:17 to go, his Blue Devils trail by 2 touchdowns at home in the first round of the 6A playoffs on MyTV 30.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners Sonic, Tennessee Army National Guard, South College, Bart Durham Injury Law, Western Kentucky University, BMC Metalworks, Wilson Bank and Trust, Josh Houston and Associates, and UA Local 572, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.
Lebanon trailing Riverdale at home 14-0, and the Blue Devils facing a 4th and 10, may be backed up to 4th and 15 as Gavin Gregory started running his route before the ball was snapped. So a big moment here for Lebanon, who will have to kick it back to Riverdale to start the third quarter, Bruno. And Chuck Gentry told us this week we have got to stay out of 3rd and 4th and 10 or 15. And that's what Lebanon is faced with here. And not a gotta-have-it moment, but a big chance to get on the board and prevent Riverdale from running away with it.
And a bit of a coaching no man's land too, right? Can't punt the football. You're too deep on their side of the field. No kicking game. Now you just you're stuck going for on 4th and 15 in an offense that's run first.
So Harrison empties out the backfield. Pressure coming. Harrison throws, and it's well short of the sticks either way, but incomplete. And turnover on downs. Riverdale will take over. So the Warriors get the stop, and Gavin Hampton will come back out onto the field.
Saw Malden and Underwood there on the pressure. Not allowing Harrison to set his feet, had to throw on the go, so even if it was complete, it was just well short.
So Hampton, junior quarterback, already 2 touchdowns on the night, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. And he's just done such a nice job all season of improving as the year's gone along. Will Kreisky saying his pocket presence, above all else, has skyrocketed this year as he leads the Warriors in this revenge game, looking to avenge a couple of postseason losses in the last 5 years here at this place. Speaking of postseason games here at Danny Watkins Stadium, let's go down to the field for Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, yeah, during the postseason, it's really special what they do on this field. You can see the checkerboard end zone. They started painting those on Wednesday morning. They only do it for playoff home games. And Coach told us that for the first 2 years, a group of dads painted it, and they did fantastic. But the third year, most of those dads' kids graduated. So Coach ended up being at the field painting till around 11 p.m., and that's when he said, I got to get a company to do this. And so they've taken over for the past 6 years, and the trainer paints the logos on the field. They started this back in 2004 at the old school, and now that they are here at the new school, they've continued the tradition.
Thanks, Sammy, as the deep ball is broken up down the field by Gregory, the corner. Something that Chuck Gentry, when he got hired for a program that hadn't had a winning season in a decade, Bruno, they hadn't won a playoff game since 2004, and he was looking at old pictures and saw the checkerboards and started asking folks about it, and they said, yeah, you know, we used to do that for home playoff games. He brought it back. It is not an ode to the end zones at Neyland Stadium, so you don't have to worry about that, at least not according to Chuck Gentry.
I did my time. The only time I bring it up is when other people try to be mean to me about it, okay? It's the only time I bring up the Tennessee stuff. But that is also, you know, suffering from success. You're like out there at 11 p.m., you just got done work and you're painting, and you're like, at least we're in the playoffs.
Gavin Hampton, quarterback keeper, scrambles for the first down. Moves the chains, and Riverdale player down the left guard, Eli Clark, getting looked at. They'll tend to him. In some pain there. Clark, the senior starter for this offensive line. So good to see him get back up on his feet. Maybe try to walk it off. Take a look here as Clark goes down trying to block Manier.
Yeah, you can see right there, right on the cut, bottom right of our screen. It's a little low block. Hopefully it's nothing too serious if you're able to walk off on your own power. It's a good sign.
Yeah.
Funny enough, my second start ever was at Neyland. Tore my PCL. I was like, someone stabbed me on the field. It was just my knee. My ligament was gone. Played the rest of the game with it.
Didn't get a chance to block into those checkerboards, did you?
I don't know if I scored that game.
1st and 10. Lucas Panzica, former Vanderbilt Commodore Bruno Reagan in the booth. Sammy Kincaid downstairs tonight. Glad to have you with us for the first round of the 6A playoffs. As Hampton will put it in the air and looking for Burns off the mark. Not on the same page there with his senior receiver who had the 68-yard catch and run to open the scoring in the first quarter. So it brings up 2nd and 10. Be a lot of dirty jerseys tonight on both sides.
Glad you mentioned it. I saw it. I was like, I'll let it go. But, man, those whites, it's starting to be clear kind of how physical the game can be. It's implanted.
Well, you see the blue there on the left shoulder pad of Hampton as he hands off to Vaughn, who dodges his way across the 45 into Lebanon territory, out of bounds on the sideline. More Riverdale players are trying to get that blue on their jerseys because that means going down into the checkerboard end zones. As that's a 17-yard carry by Vaughn for a first down. Last time those were painted, 2022, the last time Lebanon hosted a playoff game against these Riverdale Warriors in a dramatic overtime win. A matchup that Riverdale is back and looking to avenge, and they're off to a nice start.
Looking like the Riverdale of old who dominated this series, but Lebanon with the recent success, still only up 2 scores.
Riverdale, 5-time state championship winning program. Back to Vaughn they go here. Battles his way to the 40-yard line. They'll call it down at the 41. All 5 of those state titles in Riverdale's history, of course, under the legendary Gary Rankin. And Jacob Vaughn just taking it right at the Lebanon defense. Whistled down by John Binion. Timeout on the field. Riverdale will take its first timeout of the half. Correction, Lebanon. Timeout Lebanon. That is their 3rd and final timeout with 4:15 to play. And Riverdale with a 2nd and 4. Trying to use up as much of this second quarter clock as they can before they get the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah, worst case scenario here for Lebanon is Riverdale controls. They maybe get 2 or 3 more between the chain series right here, get maybe 8 or 7 more plays, run the clock down, score with only a minute left, and it'd be too much ground for this Lebanon run-first offense to be able to cover, and then coming out of halftime, Riverdale gets the football back.
Will Kreisky, his offensive coordinator, Justin Barnes, bringing in a group that scored about 30 points per game this season. Kreisky and Gentry, those guys go back a few years at this point, have crossed paths multiple times. And, we mentioned Lebanon's recent success against Riverdale. But Chuck Gentry was 2-0 against Riverdale as a play caller at Cookeville. So both of those guys had some fun with that this week. Will Kreisky calling up Chuck saying, look, you're 4-0 against the Warriors, and we haven't forgotten it.
It is nice when these guys can call and joke around a little bit with each other, too. Eases the tension a bit.
Gavin Hampton with Vaughn on his right hip. Relays the play. On a 2nd and 4, Hampton floats it downfield, connects, no, it's broken up. Reynolds looked like he had it, but Lebanon forces it out at the final moment. Corbin Reynolds, Hampton's #1 receiver all season, has yet to come up with the catch.
Yep, watch #1 for Lebanon defense in the year, the junior, come in and lay the boom. Saves a big play, still celebrating on the field. That's the kind of energy they need right there. You make a big play, you need to get up and get your team going and follow up. Success, energy, emotion, momentum, all keys in football. It's contagious.
Lebanon looking for a spark. 3rd and 4 here as the Blue Devils look to get off the field. Hampton gives to Tritch in motion. In trouble. Luke Tritch, the freshman, swung down. Lebanon's defense rises to the occasion. That's Jaden Stafford. And it's 4th and long for the Riverdale Warriors.
Punt unit is coming out. We take a look at where this went wrong, and I think Lebanon just does such a good job of coming up the field on the edge. It looks like there's all that field for Tritch to stretch it out, but they slice and force him back inside to all the linebacker and defensive end help.
First time tonight that Riverdale will punt it away. Miles Weaver will boot it to Gavin Gregory, the Lebanon speedster. So 3 minutes, 10 seconds for the Blue Devils to work with here as a flag is down.
Should be a delay of game.
That's right, clock ran out. Does that feel like an intentional delay of game for Riverdale to give Weaver a little more space?
If they did a good job of not telling their players, because it looked like they were communicating and trying to really figure out what to do on the field, but I don't know. I've never been given a let's get a penalty on purpose call. That's very, very, very deep in playbooks.
High snap, but Weaver handles it well and gets a nice boot off. And Manier actually back deep, lets it bounce into the end zone. So that delay of game backs it up, but not enough for Weaver to keep it out of those checkerboards. And Lebanon will get the football on the 20 with 80 yards to go, 2 minutes, 55 seconds, and no timeouts to do it.
No timeouts is killer. Anytime that they get down, we'll have a chance to run this clock out. But stay tuned for our U.S. Navy halftime report.
We'll highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, show participating school administrator interviews, highlights from here across the country, and more. The U.S. Navy, forged by the sea. Got a feeling we might see one or two highlights from our Friday Night Rivals broadcast last week in the Battle of the Borough, Riverdale's 35-21 loss at Oakland. That has them on the road here as the 3 seed out of Region 3 6A. As the Zeta sprints to the 25, gain of 5. And the clock keeps rolling here for Lebanon.
Riverdale has all 3 timeouts. If they can force a 3 and out here, maybe use one of those timeouts on the 3rd or the 4th down, maybe even 2 of them, they can give some time to Hampton in the offense.
Keep it on the ground with the Zeta. Runs straight into a pile and picks up a couple, but it will bring up 3rd down. Clock keeps moving. No timeout yet for the Warriors. They do have all 3 to work with, like you said.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. If you have all three in this situation, I like using it on third and fourth, but I can see. It's just I've always been told that time is more valuable than gold in these situations. So any chance you can save some time on the clock. But Riverdale's probably good with forcing this out and at least going into halftime right there, Lee.
You need 3 yards for the first down. Harrison again to a Zeta, shot out of a cannon straight up the middle, has the first, so that will move the change, but still with 95 seconds to go, Lebanon's got to get moving. Blue Devil is down. And we'll try to get a read on the injured Lebanon offensive lineman here. Stops things with 1:35 to go. For a Lebanon team that's battled injuries throughout the course of the season, key players coming in and out of the lineup, whether it's a Zeta, the running back, J.D. Stafford, the playmaker on offense. Multiple guys that have missed time on both sides of the ball that, for the most part, have come back for this game. As the Blue Devils are looking for another playoff run under Chuck Gentry. And we'll try to get you the exact name and number on that player as soon as we can, so as not to speculate here on My TV 30. And everybody taking a knee now at Danny Watkins Stadium. Obviously, the last thing you want to see in such a cool environment, playoff action here at Lebanon High School, a true high school football community. When you talk about a town rallying around a school and a program, and a stretcher is coming out here. Game that was delayed an hour due to a weather delay. We hit pause here for a much more serious matter. It's good to see movement down on the field.
Yeah, we've seen the trainers give commands of movement, hands. We've seen lower body movement, so you have to hope that all for the best.
And again, don't want to communicate a name until we have a clear view of the number down on Clifton Tribble Field tonight. So a hush has fallen over this crowd here at Lebanon High School. As obviously we'll be wishing this young man the very best, as the training staff and officials here at Lebanon try to get him off the field as safely as possible. Never easy to be in this moment, player, fan, coach, however you shake it.
No, it'll be something that's in the back of your mind, too, as you play. Both teams will have to come back and try their best to regain that focus here to finish out this first half of football.
And they'll get him on the backboard here. So much adversity for this Lebanon team tonight, but obviously no football thoughts here, as they will cart this young man off. But again, good to see any sort of movement in his extremities. Apologies for not getting you folks a name. Just have not had an unobstructed view of that number quite yet. So they will try to get him out of here as safely as possible. It's a Lebanon group that has been very close-knit throughout the course of the season. A program that has turned its fortunes around from last year, where they missed the postseason and came together in the spring. Chuck Gentry said it was just a team effort of everybody getting on the same page. And this is just the very last thing that you want to experience after achieving such a big goal for the season of getting to the playoffs. And looks like that is the right tackle, Aaron Davis, junior. One of the upperclassmen on this Lebanon football team, teammates surrounding him. And just one of those moments that can be hard to come up with words for. That, like you said, Bruno, will just kind of linger as this game moves along. But huge credit to the staff here, medical officials at Lebanon High School, for the quick response and the ability to get Aaron Davis off the field as safely as possible. And there's the thumbs up. Love to see that. Love to see that from Aaron Davis. Anytime a head or neck injury comes along, the concern is widespread, but that's got to give you a little bit of a positive feeling, a little extra energy for that Lebanon sideline and fan base to see your junior right tackle signaling to the crowd as he gets stretchered off.
Looks like while he was down, he was able to move most parts of his body, so hoping all the best for the junior Aaron Davis. It could be a very scary thing.
Well, and the hardest part, right, is just coming back out and playing football after that.
Absolutely.
But Lebanon will try to rally with 1:35 to go in the second quarter and no timeouts. Harrison with a quick pass to Searcy's, brought down. No, it's incomplete. Ball came out. Incomplete, stops the clock. And it brings up 2nd and 10. How do you shake that off from a player perspective? Obviously, you want an update on your teammate, your friend. You want to be focused on the moment. How do you balance those things at the high school level?
Well, you'll know you'll get an update somewhat at halftime, right? Coach will speak, so you just do your best to get to that moment. If you want to get to that moment, you got to do the downs. You got to get in there, and you just have to get it done. It's part of the challenge.
Give to Azeta again, and he is hammered at the line of scrimmage. Riverdale does have all 3 timeouts, electing not to use them here as we get close to a minute to go. Don't go anywhere. In the fourth quarter, we'll tell you the UA Local 572 player of the game. And there's that timeout, first one of the half from Riverdale, taken with 62 seconds remaining. UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. So they'll bring it in. And an opportunity for the Warriors now to get off the field on a 3rd and 10, stop the clock again, and try to add to their lead before going into halftime and getting the football to start the third quarter.
Only a minute left. It's going to be tough to cover down. I think both of these teams at this point would want to get into halftime and try to transition to their next phases of the game. But you have to imagine if you're Lebanon, you're not going to change too much, right? You're just going to come out. You're going to have a really big stop against Riverdale, who's shown some good things on offense, but also Hampton, who has been electric at times. He's shown that he is vulnerable and can make mistakes.
Gavin Hampton does have an interception tonight, but this Riverdale defense going to try to put the ball back in the hands of the junior quarterback. So we'll see what Lebanon has drawn up for 3rd and 10. Winner gets the right to go play Maryville in East Tennessee in the second round of the 6A playoffs. Back to the ground. Zeta wrapped up, stays on his feet, but second man gets him down. Emmons gets home, and there's the timeout from Riverdale with 54 seconds remaining. They'll have one left, and Lebanon will be forced to punt it and play defense.
Chopping off a lot of that clock by getting the one first down they had on the set of downs right before, under a minute left. Have to imagine after the punt there will only be about 40 seconds left. Just enough time for Riverdale, to maybe cut down the field and get one shot at the end zone.
And with the arm of Gavin Hampton, they don't have to get too close. As you look at the bracket here, how it's setting up in 6A. You see another Murfreesboro team. Blackman getting it done on the other side there. The 24 win over Gallatin last night. Lots of games in the area moved up to Thursday this week with the storms that swept through and delayed this game an hour. But Maryville and West Ridge has gone final, 41-7. So the Rebels, a powerhouse program, will await the winner tonight. It's quite the prize to win a playoff game and head to East Tennessee to face that program.
Going to be a tall task for sure for either of these teams.
Riverdale, a powerhouse in their own right with what they've done, and Lebanon resurgent in the Chuck Gentry era, but the Blue Devils will have to punt it away here to the Warriors, who have a 14-point lead. Jimenez, two different Riverdale players back deep. It's a fake. Jimenez to throw, has the man. It's caught by Azeda. He hauls it in Riverdale territory. Chuck Gentry, riverboat gambling in his own territory, and he wins. Wow, 34 yards and a first down.
I don't even know what to equate this to, what we saw. I mean, the gall on this man to go for it, because if that doesn't convert, you get Hampton and Riverdale so many shots at your end zone. They're going quick.
Harrison on the run completes. Short pass, no timeouts for Lebanon. He gets it to Gardner, and they got to get on the ball. 15 seconds left. Lebanon losing time. 10 seconds. They're going to run a play. Harrison, no, he spikes it out of the gun.
They add 8 seconds onto the clock and take away 10 seconds. Now there's 8 seconds.
Back and forth we go. 8 seconds. Let's take a look here. What a call by Gentry, and how about the throw from the punter Jimenez? And Azeda catch it through contact.
Just such a good job. And, I mean, talk about another extra effort. If it wasn't for Harper on Riverdale, the junior defensive back, it would have been a touchdown.
8 seconds. 2 plays if Lebanon can ensure the clock stops. Harrison facing pressure. Flag flies as he goes to the end zone, and it bounces out the back of it, but this could get backed up with 1 second remaining. And that will back it up for the Blue Devils. So they may have a prayer to the end zone before halftime here, but worst case scenario, you prevent Riverdale from getting the ball back. And
Fist number 53, 10-yard penalty for the spot, play third down.
No matter what happens here, the Warriors likely don't have a chance to add to their lead before the half.
No, it was a success. I mean, that punt, in a sense, it did its job, right? Everything else is icing on the cake, but there is a chance. And fortune certainly favors the bold, Lucas. And Lebanon has shown that they are not scared to be bold. What they should be scared of, though, is this Riverdale pass rush. And this front four defensive linemen, they actually have 3 right here. They have the 3-3 stack for this look. They're going to have a little bit more lighter of a personnel, try and get more bodies in the end zone and farther back.
Harrison, as the clock runs, has to throw, has a man. Gregory's there. It's broken up. Broken up at the final moment. And a dramatic finish to this first half as Riverdale will take a 14-0. Now, hang on. There is a flag here. There's a flag down on the Riverdale defense.
Looks like they're going to call personal foul.
Craig Phillips, our white hat, giving a preliminary signal that Lebanon is going to get another crack at it here.
Personal foul. Targeting defense number 11. 15-yard penalty.
Targeting is the call on Jackson Porter, and Lebanon has new life. They're going to have another play before half.
Sometimes you just sit back and laugh and enjoy the traveling circus that is Friday Night Rivals, week 1 of the TSSAA playoffs. We're here at 6A football, and it could not just get more wild than what we've seen so far.
Lebanon will have one more play with zeros on the clock, ball on the 19-yard line. I mean, some stuff you just can't make up. Timeout on the field. Riverdale takes its final timeout of the half.
One of those timeouts just kind of feels like a, hey, take this kind of move.
Can't take them with you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. A 1 hour long rain delay that pushes this kickoff to about 8 o'clock. An interception by Lebanon and a run back that gives the Blue Devils the ball in the red zone, looking like they cash in on a touchdown pass to Searcy, but the ball gets ripped out at the final moment, turns into an interception for Riverdale. That gets turned into an 82-yard drive and gives the Warriors a 14-0 lead. And now here we are near the end of the first half. Take a look at the penalty.
This is the one they called targeting on. We'll take a look right here at the end. And, I mean, it is crown to crown.
Yeah, Jackson Porter, the junior defensive back.
Off the top, I don't remember ever hearing a targeting called as a penalty at the high school football level, Lucas. Usually they call it as a personal foul, roughing the passer.
Right.
So it's just a different way of calling the same thing.
So here we go. Harrison with an empty backfield. A chance to get on the board before half. Has to do it on the run. Heaves. Broken up and incomplete. Riverdale able to keep that goose egg on the board. But Lebanon showing some life going into halftime. The Riverdale Warriors on top by 2 touchdowns in this first round 6A playoff matchup. And it has been interesting to say the least. A fun second half in store. We'll hear from Riverdale head coach Will Kreisky down on the field. Sammy Kincaid will catch up with him in a moment. And let's go downstairs to Sammy with Coach Kreisky.
Coach, going into the locker room with the lead, kind of a not your typical first half, but what do you like that you're seeing from your team right now?
Well, you know, we're doing some good things, but we're a little flat right now. So, you know, we got to keep blocking up front. Our guys got to keep running the football. We got to keep tackling, wrapping up. The running back's really good. But, you know, I just feel like we're flat, so we got to get going in the second half.
And what's really the message to the team whenever you have a game that's probably not going to be your most clean whenever the field's in this kind of condition? What's the message to the team, especially having a takeaway like that in the end zone? What's really the message to the team?
Well, you know, you just got to keep playing. Find a way. That's what been our motto all year, find a way. So we got to find a way to come out and finish the second half.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy. Will Kreisky and Chuck Gentry will go talk to their football teams with the second half still to come. Riverdale leads Lebanon 14-0 in the first round of the 6A playoffs. The United States Navy halftime report is next.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Lebanon High School, where they're currently hosting Riverdale. Riverdale has the lead 14-0 here at halftime, and I'm joined by Riverdale's principal, Miss Tamara Blair, and thank you so much for joining me. 2 weeks in a row we get to talk.
Oh, I'm happy to see you again.
Absolutely, and last week we talked a lot about the athletics. This week, let's hit on some academics. You have a lot of academic achievements. Tell me about some of those.
Well, I'll hit on a highlight first is that we are just tickled that, again, we are level 5 school, which is the state, the highest you can get in the state of Tennessee for growth, and we're just extremely proud of that. Also, academically, I want to say that our Riverdale Honors College that we started a couple of years ago is now up to 283 members, so that is really good, and we're very proud of those students. But recently, our FFA was recognized nationally for being a 3-star chapter, which is the highest ranking that you can get from in the nation. And so we are very proud of them because that means you have a great overall program. And I also want to do a shout out to my criminal justice team. They came home today with 2 first place, 2 second, and 2 third place from a competition they were at today.
Well, congratulations to them, and there's a lot of growth that's happening at Riverdale. We talked last week about how all the construction and how that is going, and it's looking beautiful, and I'm sure with all that growth, there's a lot of new programs and initiatives going on in your school. What are some of those?
So one thing that we have added is our dual enrollment with TCAT, and we have a great partnership with them, and we have our cosmetology, which is fairly new to Riverdale, and our automotive that we've had for years. But what we're doing now is making sure that our students get this opportunity for dual enrollment, and they will leave us with enough hours and credits that they can graduate from TCAT. And so we love that relationship we have with them. And also with the addition, we got a brand new, beautiful culinary kitchen, and it's amazing. And we have started that program, and it is just flourishing.
That's fantastic to have so many new programs at Riverdale. And anytime we're at Riverdale, the community is always very much so involved in that environment. Talk to me about how you connect with the local community.
Well, 2 things that are great about being at Riverdale is that, first of all, we have MTSU that is in our backyard, and we love them. And so our audio-visual CTE class does a lot of things with MTSU. So that makes a great connection with our community. And actually other schools and businesses have been reaching out to our audio-visual and digital arts to have them do things for them. So that's really nice. But I think the biggest thing that we do probably within our community is our St. Baldrick's. And I'm very proud of that because at the ball games, our student council starts right then asking our fans and our community to start giving to St. Baldrick's for children's cancer research. And Riverdale High School has raised over $300,000 since we have been partnering with St. Baldrick's.
Wow, that's amazing, the impact that you guys have made. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me 2 weeks in a row. It's so great to chat with you.
Maybe we can see you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from break, we're going to have highlights, stats, a lot more. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Lebanon High School. They are currently hosting Riverdale, and I am joined by Lebanon's principal, Dr. Scott Walters. Thank you so much for hosting us tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. Again,
always,
welcome back.
I was going to say, it's always great to be in Lebanon. And talk to me about the success of this football program. Also, cross country has had a lot of success this year.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good things going on. Football's been excellent this year. Probably one of the best we've seen in a while. Started out strong, I think, like 7-0, and then lost a game here and there, but getting to host the first round of playoffs, so that's fun and exciting. We're real proud of them. They worked real hard.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a historic season that they're having.
It's been great.
It's been awesome to watch. And also, I hear that you have a new cell phone policy. We were talking about it right before this. I said I would be in trouble, you guys.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be wrong if I don't do this, but cross country, you mentioned cross country. So girls cross country team, they competed in the state meet over in Memphis today. So, yeah, we've been excited to hear about them. We got a top 100 finisher, so that's been good. Good all around. Cell phones, not the most exciting thing to talk about. But I do want to say it's changed a lot of the landscape in school, and the lawmakers last year, statewide dealing with no more cell phones allowed in school. So says the state of Tennessee. We all, I think, had our doubts about how that was going to work out, but it's been awesome. Kids and families have jumped on board. It's been really cool to see them talking to each other and paying better attention. There's less drama in school, and we're actually talking about school and learning and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to give a shout out to lawmakers and school boards. Who know? That they really helped us out with that one, and we've been excited about how it's changed things for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Having real face-to-face relationships, not just something over the phone.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, and talk to me about the community, kind of talking about the community of the school here, but talk to me a little bit more about the community with the teachers, the staff, and the students.
Yeah, Lebanon is a special place. It's definitely a community-based school. Everybody jumps in when it comes to anything, big events like this, things that just need help. We have an awesome athletic director who works hard all week to make sure this goes very smoothly. Zach Martin, great admin team. Parents here are very supportive. I'm just really happy to be here. Been here for a while, and appreciate the way they treat us. So I just want to be grateful for that.
Absolutely, and we're grateful again for you guys hosting us. It's always a pleasure to be here at Lebanon, so thank you again, and thank you to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from break, Lucas and Bruno, they're going to have highlights, stats, a lot more, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Halftime in Lebanon, Tennessee, and the Riverdale Warriors on top of the Lebanon Blue Devils 14-0 as we welcome you back to the United States Navy Halftime Report. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you. Round number 1 of the 6A playoffs. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. A wacky first half. We were delayed an hour from weather in the area, and then it was a quick start for Riverdale. 3 and out on defense, 68-yard catch and run by Braylon Burns on offense to take the lead.
Yeah, the real only explosive play we've had so far from an offensive standpoint, 50-plus yards. But we can see right here, Lebanon trying to establish that dominant run game that they've had all season, the Riverdale defense. Anytime Lebanon goes to mix it up and pass, they're able to get into the backfield. And then Hampton throwing his first interception of the night to someone who's really stood out from the Lebanon side, Cersei.
Cersei running it all the way back deep into Lebanon territory, but on the next play, Riverdale picked off Lebanon in the end zone and went back to work with Gavin Hampton capping an 82-yard drive with the QB draw touchdown to make it a 14-0 lead, which is where we stand. Lebanon still had some life before the end of the half and going all the way into the bag of tricks, Bruno, with some double passes, some flips and tricks to get the ball down the field, even a fake punt before halftime. Zeta getting on the end of it there, but ultimately the Blue Devils unable to come up with points before the half, and they trail 14-0 as we'll take a look at the first half stats. Riverdale in control here, outgaining the Blue Devils 212 to 125.
Yeah, Vaughn doing a great job for Riverdale in their rushing attack, having one of his better nights. Both of the turnovers, even at one, and a little bit of penalties, all right? It's been, if you are just now tuning in, you've missed a treat of a first half. Starting with an hour-long delay, we've had wacky picks, we're in the end zone, get ripped out. It's just been a barn burner, but Riverdale been the far more consistent team.
A couple plays sure to make this highlight reel in a couple of weeks, because every week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we showcase outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. So let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
He's going to heave it deep right down the middle of the field and going up to get the football. Did he come down with the football?
Yes,
he did.
Sir.
What a catch right there from Kaleem Taylor.
Allen Moore with pressure on the backside and swoop. That ball's on the ground and picked up. This is going to be a scoop and score. Jaden Millhouse to the house. Outlaw Casa.
Downfield, intercepted. It's going to be picked off by Holmes. Here he comes to the near side, and Holmes trying to pick up blocks. Cuts it back the other way. Holmes still on his feet. Holmes, will it be a pick six? Yes, it will. Fade to the end zone, trying to make the one-handed catch. Tremendous effort over there by Isaiah Ivey. Call it a touchdown.
That was 4th and 10. Chased out of the pocket. Launches it down the field. And it is caught. It's a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
What in the world?
Playmaking ability from Fort.
Beachy to the end zone. Touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
The final play of the game. What a moment.
Got your way. QB sneak wins the game. That's a fitting end of the season, don't you think?
All of the emotions. For
Halftime at Lebanon, and we are gearing up for the third quarter. Wrapping up the United States Navy halftime report. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan back with you. We will hear from Sammy Kincaid in a moment downstairs, catching up with Lebanon head coach Chuck Gentry as the Blue Devils trail 14-0 at home to Riverdale, Bruno. But got to think Coach Gentry is happy with the fight from his football team. Just got to put some more first downs together and get some points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, all things considered, they've kind of gotten off a little bit easy, for lack of a better word. I think this could have been a lot more dominant of a first half out of Riverdale, but Lebanon able to keep it close. They have to make a stop on defense coming out. Riverdale will receive the kick this half.
That's right. The Warriors will look to add to their 14-0 lead in a bit of a playoff rematch. This is a matchup that's been happening a long time. Used to be a region game. It's the 38th meeting between these two. The Warriors lead the all-time series 26-11, but recently it's Lebanon who's had the upper hand. Playoff wins in this building against the Warriors in 2021 and 2022, winning each of the last two meetings. Riverdale head coach Will Kreisky has not forgotten it, looking to get his team into the second round. The winner will move on to face Maryville on the road in the 6A postseason. And here on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. We've still got 2 quarters of football to play in this first round matchup. Weather is gone. We delayed kickoff by an hour with thunderstorms sweeping through the area, and you got to think the field conditions are going to be a factor. Natural grass field. Obviously, the first half already has done some damage to it. This thing has been hit by rain for hours today. Wonder how much that plays into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the effects of it in the first half. Even someone who is as consistent as Vaughn, even though he's an underclassman for this Riverdale team, having an uncharacteristic, uncontacted fumble, having some slips. Now, it looks like that these players are, at the same time, adapting to the field. So that'll be the constant battle. But if you use the eye test, you can just take a look at how ripped up it is right now.
No doubt about that. I mean, does that change anything about what you do, your operation, when it comes to offensive line play for you? Just the way the ground underneath your feet maybe is shifting and unstable.
In a weird way, these conditions and the chaos of it all, it makes me think less, which I appreciate. I don't worry about being precise with my footwork and my aiming points. I'm just like, well, at this point, I'm just getting off and playing football. And there's, in a weird way, it's actually relieving, if that makes sense.
You offensive linemen always have a screw loose, but I guess that's part of the deal. Sammy Kincaid downstairs with Lebanon head coach Chuck Gentry. After a wild first half, his team has yet to get on the board. They've got some work to do. First, got to play defense when we kick off this third quarter. And let's go downstairs to Sammy alongside Coach Gentry.
Coach, not the first half that you probably intended for, but there was a lot of back and forth. What was really the message to your team in the locker room?
Well, we got to believe in ourselves. You know, we had a call not go our way, and we felt like we had a 5-minute span there where we didn't believe in us, and we're pointing fingers and all the things. You know, just got to come out and compete. Maybe make a play or two there, and make a turnover or something. But just got to keep playing our game.
And a lot of adversity in that first half with Aaron going down. What was really the morale of the team in the locker room?
Oh, it was good. Aaron was fine. He was just being precautious. Anytime you get a neck with a kid, you're precautious. He didn't want to get on the stretcher or go to the hospital. We did the best thing for him. Told him I'd go get his parents. Everything be fine. And as far as I know, everything's good. And we should get an update on him here in about 10 minutes.
Awesome. Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy. And that is great news to hear about right tackle Aaron Davis, the Lebanon junior, who was carted off in a really scary moment in the first half. And couldn't ask for a better halftime report on that end from Chuck Gentry. We'll see if we get any more updates down the stretch here tonight from Sammy Kincaid on that end. Another thing Coach Gentry talked a lot about this week, Bruno, just the focus and mentality of his football team. He said it wasn't there in the week of practice leading up to last Friday's game against Cookeville. They came out and lost the game 24-7. We asked him before the game, how's the focus, the energy level? He said, well, this team's either really scared or really focused. I can't quite tell. We're going to find out after one half. Which one do you think it is?
I think they're actually really focused. If you can come back from the mistakes that have plagued this first half for both teams, but more specifically Lebanon, I think there actually is a focus. I think the attitude and the distractions of the delay, it can, listen, I played in a game that was delayed to like 11. My first game was Vanderbilt Temple, but we'll go down to the football field and see how they respond here in the second half.
Sammy Kincaid with an injury update before kickoff.
Hey guys, for the Bartram injury update, let's start out on the Riverdale side. Out tonight is LeBrian Shelbourne. He is out with a torn ACL. Switching over to the Lebanon side, you just heard from Coach that Aaron Davis, he is likely to be okay. They think it was a stinger in his neck, and so it's more precautionary. But also out tonight is wide receiver, linebacker Darrell Leggs.
Thanks, Sammy. Onside kick. Lebanon saying they got it, and it looks like they do. The Blue Devils reach even deeper into the bag of tricks on special teams, the onside kick, and they snatch away a possession. Coming out with the football is Eli Jimenez, the kicker.
Take a look at the middle of your screen. It's just right on the fingertips, and he falls on it. He gets just he's holding it up like a Lion King style, and it comes down on the field. Just the exact play we needed. I wonder if Coach Gentry had that in the back of his mind as he was talking to us. What a deceiving man.
We saw the fake punt in the first half, the onside kick to kick off the second. Now Lebanon trying to turn it into points here at home in the first round of the playoffs. They hand off to Stafford up the middle. He falls forward, but there's no gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Riverdale will remain on defense here as Lebanon just tries to put something together on offense. Outgained 212 to 124 in the first half.
Well, you might think they weren't successful with the run in the first half, but they should stick to it. This is where the teams start to soften up in the second half.
Harrison facing pressure, evades it. No, he is swung down from behind. The sack by Jeremy Thompson. His first of the year. The sophomore linebacker that kind of emerged out of nowhere for this Riverdale coaching staff. Went from a guy that they wondered if he'd be good enough to start for this defense to pushing for that lead tackler role each and every week.
Absolutely, and the way he's able to just stalk down Harrison in the pocket, you could see a lot of mini changes of direction, and that kind of took away Harrison's ability to make a decision and run with the football. Thompson just hawks him down.
And Lebanon goes backwards, 3rd and 15 after recovering the onside kick. Harrison dumps it down, Azeda, and he is dragged down before reaching midfield. Once again, it's Thompson on the stop. And Lebanon just unable to do anything with that special team spark.
Yeah, I have to agree with getting the ball to Azeda in any way, shape, or form. He's just so explosive, but they're trying to get him in space, and this Riverdale defense is just doing such a good job covering, making it close, not giving them any opportunities to make a move in the open field.
Zayden Jones and Elijah Reams are back deep for Jimenez's punt. No fake this time. And he gets a good boot off. Down at the 14, that's where Riverdale will take over. So the Warriors stand tall after giving up the onside kick and will get it back on offense with a 14-0 lead in the first round of the 6A playoffs. Beautiful night in Lebanon, Tennessee. playoff season in the Volunteer State, and it's our favorite game on Friday Night Rivals. Bruno Reagan, what kind of mood is that?
You already know, baby. That's the fullest full moon I've ever seen. That's the wheel of cheese right there.
Even I know that's not a full moon. You could have at least thrown out, you could have made
The
something
waning,
up and I
the
would have
waxing,
believed.
the crescent,
Yeah.
the gibbous.
Didn't even make an effort on that one. Lebanon trying to sustain its defensive effort here against an explosive Riverdale offense. 14-0 lead, the Warriors with their first possession of the second half on offense. Gavin Hampton, the junior quarterback. And 2 total touchdowns in the first half, and on play action he connects with Burns, who's hit immediately. Gavin Gregory comes down from his cornerback spot, keeping it to a minimal gain.
Take a look at Hampton. It looks like he has a pump fake towards the middle of the field, trying to bait any sort of movement from the corners and linebackers away from his target on the edge.
Picks up 4, 2nd and 6 for a Riverdale team with revenge on the mind here in the first round of the 6A playoffs. Last 2 visits to this building, Danny Watkins Stadium, resulted in playoff losses for the Warriors in 2021 and 2022. The give to Vaughn, and he is wrangled down for a loss. Austin Harrison makes the stop. And here comes 3rd down for the Riverdale Warriors. Loss of 2 on the play. Hampton can make every throw. The junior quarterback collecting offers from the likes of Mississippi State, Nebraska, Maryland. A true gunslinger trying to get his team out of a 3rd and long early in the second half. Hampton facing pressure on the run, lobs it out of bounds, and Lebanon defensively comes up with the 3 and out it needed.
It's got to feel good if you're Lebanon, too, because they're coming off of that onside kick, go 3 and out. It's just kind of like a stab in the heart for such a good play, getting them off guard, and then they come out and get a 3 and out on their own, able to get the ball hopefully in front of midfield.
This Lebanon team just unable to find that spark on offense, but defense and special teams has delivered so far for the Blue Devils.
Absolutely. They're still looking for that one explosive play that will be able to cut this game down to a 1-score game.
This could back up the Riverdale punt further as multiple flags come in before the play. Craig Phillips, our white hat tonight. He'll back it up 5 yards. Back deep is Amari Manier, the safety. The Lebanon special teams unit that has come up with a converted fake punt, an onside kick, and they may come after this punt here as Weaver gets it away, and Manier will let it bounce.
Hey, good job, Deontay.
So plus territory for the Blue Devils to pick up their second drive of the second half. We'll come back out with this run-heavy attack. And how much do you expect to see a healthy dose of Gianna Zeta, the junior running back that has popped at moments in this game, but talk about a monster season. 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. As we hope you'll stay with us, the Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game coming up in the fourth quarter. And trying to get one of those here on this drive. Lebanon, how much would you want to see as Zeta here if you're a Blue Devil fan?
I want to see them hand it off to him 12 times in a row. That's what I want to see. Let's really test this Riverdale defense coming out of halftime.
And they do on 1st and 10. As Zeta burrows under a pile, and that thing's being pushed. It's a good first down gain for the running back, who is built like a bowling ball. That's according to his head coach. You like that?
It's just something endearing. My wrestling coach would always tell everyone, he's like, Bruno's a lot like Kung Fu Panda. And I was like, Coach, I don't know if that's a compliment. I don't know if what you're saying makes me feel good.
Context is everything. For an offensive lineman, I feel like that's a compliment. 13 carries, 38 yards for Azeda. Chuck Gentry, the head coach and play caller here at Lebanon, trying to get him going. And we'll see if they go back to number 17 out of the backfield on 2nd and 5. Winner moves on to face Maryville on the road in the second round of the 6A playoffs. They'll give to Stafford, ball on the ground, Riverdale's on it. Lebanon fumbles the football and the Warriors come up with it. Caleb Woods. And disaster strikes again for this Lebanon offense. The self-inflicted wounds piling up for the Blue Devils at home. Second turnover of the night, and Riverdale takes over on their own 46.
I believe this is the longest I've seen a football remain untouched and unmoved on the ground. I mean, it was just sitting there ready for the taking, and there was no one else in the Lebanon backfield, and the way their motions happened, the ball just got stuck in between them, and they both kept running. Gunn comes up with that one.
They give to Hampton as he streaks into Lebanon territory, brought down after an 8-yard gain. And it's just another opportunity for this Riverdale offense to add to a 14-0 lead. As this one moves past 10 p.m. Central Time, a game that was delayed an hour due to pregame thunderstorms. And here's Jacob Vaughn with a wide open gap. He's across the 20. Vaughn muscles his way inside the 15, and the sophomore rips off a huge chunk for the Riverdale Warriors. 37 yards, and Jacob Vaughn is over 100 on the night.
Jacob Vaughn making his case for player of the game, and he makes one move back inside, but watch the yards after contact. He easily gets about 10, 15 more, carrying a pair of Blue Devil defenders.
Riverdale in business, a chance to make it a 3-score lead in the third quarter of this playoff matchup. Vaughn again, Vaughn into the end zone. The sophomore finds those checkerboards, and Riverdale is running rampant with a South College touchdown. Jacob Vaughn on the board, his 6th rushing score of the season.
I mean, just a tough sequence of event coming out of halftime. Riverdale set to receive, you kick the onside kick, you recover it, then you go 3 and out, and then you force a 3 and out, and then you turn the ball over, and immediately Jacob Vaughn is the first consistency that has popped up in the second half, drives it down the field for Riverdale.
Weaver's PAT is good, and the Warriors lead is 21-0 with 6:06 to play in the third. A mountain to climb for the Blue Devils here at Danny Watkins Stadium in a winner-go-home game. It's all Warriors in the first round of the 6A playoffs on MyTV 30. Every Friday at 9:30 or after college football, make sure you don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. the biggest plays, the most unbelievable hits. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick has you covered through it all. Highlights, scores, plenty more from high school football action across the Mid-State. Fridays at 9:30 for after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who we'd like to take a moment to thank for tonight's financial tips. Playoff edition as we get into November. Winner go home across the state of Tennessee, and the clock is ticking for the Lebanon Blue Devils, trailing 21-0 after Riverdale punched in a Jacob Vaughn touchdown run, and Lebanon will get it back. Still only at the midway point in the third quarter, Bruno, but the Blue Devils, it's just felt like they've pulled out all the stops tonight and don't have anything yet to show for it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they get so close. They convert the moment necessary, but they just can't cap it off.
Weaver's kickoff fielded. Juking his way across the 30 and spinning down is Jamoni Busby. So back out comes the Lebanon offense. Flags come in late. Hear from Craig Phillips again. He and his crew with a busy night tonight. This will be the 12th accepted penalty, most likely.
15. To the return. Dead ball. Personal foul. White. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So on the Warriors, and they'll step it off to give Lebanon excellent field position. As for the third series in a row, the Blue Devils offense will get the football right around midfield. And we'll see if they can come up with something to show for it. Austin Harrison, hands to Azeda, and he is just swarmed in the backfield. Caleb Woods smothering it up. Number 55, the big 6'2 senior. Bona fide leader, now into double-digit TFLs on the season. And it backs up the Blue Devils by 1.5 yards. Just nothing going in that run game, especially up the middle against that Riverdale defensive line.
This Riverdale defense is just, it's a monster. It sure is a monster as we take a look at the scoring drive from the previous Riverdale series, capped off by a 9-yard rush. Most of the yards gained by one sophomore, Vaughn.
Zeta gets the give, and again, he is just met and wrangled down at the line of scrimmage. Now, both of these teams have been plagued by injuries all year, and let's run down to Sammy Kincaid for something on the Riverdale side of things.
Yeah, guys, I have very positive news to share this week about Riverdale's LeBrian Shelbourne. He's out with a torn ACL and is now rehabbing his knee. Last week, it was a very scary situation with blood clots forming around his knee that had him in the hospital for nearly all of last week. The kids asked Coach if they could carry his jersey up to the coin toss to be an honorary captain and asked for helmet stickers to wear to honor him. The team has a lot of respect for LeBrian. We did not expect to see him on the sidelines due to his health status. However, LeBrian showed up at halftime, surprising the team. The motto for Riverdale is find a way. You heard Coach Kreisky saying that at halftime, and as soon as Coach Kreisky got done with our halftime interview, he looked over, saw LeBrian, ran over to him, gave him a big hug, and LeBrian told him, Coach, I told you I would find a way to be at this game, and there he was. He sat in a chair for most of the second half, but you can find him now under that film tent, and he is coaching up his teammates. He's very excited to be on the sidelines with his teammates.
Thanks, Sammy. Yeah, awesome story. You could tell how much it meant to Coach Will Kreisky talking to him this week to look over at that Oakland game last week and see LeBrian Shelbourne coming up to give him a big hug at the half. And he just means so much to this Riverdale football team that's going to get the ball back here with another big defensive stand, and Zayden Jones handles the fair catch.
I think Riverdale is going to just stick to their running attack led by Vaughn, who has been so consistent. Hampton, obviously a threat over the air, but the more consistent option right now being the run game, especially up 3 scores, only 3 minutes left here in the third quarter.
So Riverdale in control. 21-0, 3:38 to go, third quarter. And we'll see just how much the Warriors go into ball control mode here as they do give to Vaughn, who's got space across the 30, sprints across the 40, and he's out of bounds. The Warriors have something in the sophomore running back, Jacob Vaughn. He has been quite the spark tonight. 21 yards there. He's up to 161 with a touchdown on the night.
Yeah, and it looked like it was about to be a house call. Luckily enough, the defensive back for Lebanon, the senior John Binion, able to come all the way across the field and make the play.
BMC Metalworks first down for Jacob Vaughn. Came into the night on a 636 rush yards, leading the team. And he is blown right past the 700-yard mark, but he'll go backwards here. He is handled by Jawan Stafford, throwing down the sophomore. Showing a little bit of seniority there, Stafford. Big-time leader for this Lebanon defense with offers from UIndy, James Madison knocking on the door. And that time he makes a statement, TFL, dropping Vaughn for a loss.
You can see why. That was such an explosive play and carried it out about 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But luckily for Vaughn, forward progress keeps it to a minimum 2-yard loss.
Stafford's had a massive year, 17 TFLs, 8 sacks on the season. Second and long, Hampton will throw on play action, ball's tipped. Jackson Harris, the linebacker, getting up there. So here's 3rd and 12 for the Riverdale offense. 2:42 remaining in the third quarter. Lebanon just keeps fighting here at home, season on the line.
Starting to get into must-have territory. You want to avoid that quote until absolutely necessary, but the next series, if they can have this stop here, will start to be a must-have.
Hampton wings it out to Trich. The freshman spins away from one man, and he's thrown out of bounds. Right around midfield, short of the line to gain. We'll see what the decision is here from Will Kreisky. Offense looks like it'll stay on the field.
It's a good job by Trich making this initial move, but the Lebanon defense keeps it out in front of them. 4th and 4, good job by Trich. And you can see the physicality of this game is still there, even late in a 3-score lead.
Hampton. Looking for the call from his offensive coordinator, Justin Barnes. Here's Vaughn, right up the middle. Jacob Vaughn across the 20. The sophomore with a house call. Like a thunderbolt into the checkerboards. Jacob Vaughn sprints 51 yards. It puts him over 200 on the night and a South College touchdown that just may put this out of reach for Lebanon.
And there was some design pressure there from Lebanon, and those are the opportunities where if you're an offense and you can pick up the blitzes and get a lucky read and move away from it, it can create these explosive plays, and Vaughn takes advantage to go over 200 in the first round of the 6A playoff.
Weaver's extra point, up and in. 28-0 is the Riverdale Warrior lead. And this team is looking to make a statement in the place where they have lost playoff games twice in the last 5 years. 17 carries, 210, 2 touchdowns. Is that good?
It's almost player of the game good. I mean, we'll have to go over our stat sheet, have a congress of sorts, come together and make a uniform. What's all the corporate speak everyone does now? It's like, oh, let's circle back on this, right? I'll make an executive decision right now. Riverdale looks like they're having their player of the game, but stay tuned.
UA Local 572, our presenting sponsor tonight and all season. We'll tell you just who the player of the game is. And yeah, quick hint, He might be wearing 25 because we've still got over 13 minutes of football to play. With those numbers, averaging over 12 yards a carry.
And you're not going to air it out when you're up and heavy and you want the clock to go down and you're trying to get out and go home and be healthy. You're going to run the football more.
So once again, Lebanon get a chance to come out and take another swing on offense, but this game has gotten away from the Blue Devils. Weaver scoops the kickoff. Fielded on the run by Jackson Harris. Following blockers, he gets up to the 40. And it's again solid starting field position for the Lebanon Blue Devils.
Harris with 2 good returns on the night.
And always, you think of in these moments, the seniors for Lebanon High School, where that realization kind of starts to creep in on what could very well be your final quarter of high school football coming up. See if the Blue Devils can make the most of it here on a screen to a Zeta. Bounces incomplete.
With it being thrown backwards, I wonder if they'll bring it back to the line of scrimmage, just a true incomplete pass. And yeah, if you need any motivation extra to play, I mean, you'll find it in this fourth quarter, savoring what could be the last moments of high school football for some.
It's a senior class that has seen plenty of ups and downs going back to 2022 and that playoff win right here on this field against this Riverdale program when these seniors were freshmen through some difficult seasons in 2023 and 2024. And then fast forward to this year, a real bounce back campaign for the Blue Devils, going 8-2 and getting to host the playoff matchup as Harrison swarmed and gang tackled. Flag in late.
It will be a face mask, so positive yardage for the Blue Devils coming up.
Won't be enough for the first down, as it is not an automatic chain mover at this level, but will give Lebanon another opportunity here on this drive.
Take a look at the left hand right as he's going down. A little late on the clip, but there was a clear face mask.
Lara, the junior linebacker. Step it off to the 46. So they'll call it 1st and 5. And Harrison screens it out to Gregory, trying to wheel back up to midfield and not happening. Nate Underwood wraps him up.
Take a look at the coming back was Gregory. Still a very physical football game right now. It's trying to set the tone for all 4 games that you potentially want to have when you're a playoff championship caliber team. Both these teams, assuming the winner is Riverdale, but the winner of whoever wins tonight having to go up against that tough East Tennessee Maryville team.
Under 30 seconds to play in the third quarter as the Zeta goes down at the 49, and that could be the final play of the third in this first round matchup of the 6A playoffs. Riverdale firmly in control here with a 28-0 lead heading into the final 12 minutes. Will Kreisky's group looking to play cleanup here down the stretch to move on and face Maryville in the second round. We'll finish it out coming up on MyTV 30. As we come back to start the fourth quarter, Austin Harrison goes deep to Gavin Gregory. And Lebanon, just like that, is knocking on the door to get on the board, a 48-yard completion.
Welcome back, I guess. We saw them lining up right when we were coming out of break, and we went, in the back of my head, I didn't verbalize it because we were coming out of break. I was like, this is exactly when a big play would happen. And, of course, we'll take a look. Harrison going big, sets his feet, goes down the field, right over the top of Gregory, starting underneath, beats it.
And Lebanon caps the drive. Gianna Zeta runs it in from point-blank range. And it's a South College touchdown. The Blue Devils on the board for the first time as Zeta scores his 17th touchdown of the season.
And if you're a Blue Devils fan, you probably want us to turn the broadcast off because every time we can't see what's happening, they have their best plays of the game. Absolute, just what a wild ride it's been. But the Blue Devils get on.
Now there is a Lebanon player down, being stretched out on the goal line. See if we can get a read on that number there. Hopefully not a serious injury. We did have in the first half right tackle Aaron Davis, the Lebanon junior, being stretchered off for what looked like a head and neck injury, and it was great to hear Lebanon head coach Chuck Gentry, if you missed it, telling us that it was precautionary. He expects Aaron Davis to be fine, and that he didn't want to get on that backboard, but they did take every precaution in that moment, as they obviously should, and a great job by the medical staff here at Lebanon. It's had a busy night, a late night, in a game delayed an hour due to thunderstorms pregame. Field conditions conducive to some slips and falls.
It looks like the dreaded double cramp. I've been there before. I've had the double cramp once in my life, and I remember a good buddy of mine, Blake, looked at me. He said, "You can't. Both your legs can't be cramping. Get up." And I said, "I can't move a muscle in my body." I was just laying there on the Vanderbilt weight room. Everyone's just looking at me, thinking how pathetic and weak this guy must have been.
Well, we're certainly not saying that about Deion Mills, the Lebanon center.
No, that's more my internal monologue.
Yes, I see. 6 plays, 59 yards, 2:13 off the clock as Lebanon gets on the board. Chuck Gentry's team, one thing they won't do is quit. We've seen that tonight. And you look at it, 11:26 on the clock, Bruno. You've made it a 3-score game. Defense, special teams has found ways to put the offense in good situations. They just haven't been able to capitalize quite yet, Lebanon. It's good to see Mills walking that off.
Can you just think back to that fourth down, too, where Vaughn was able to spring it for about 40-something yards to go over 200 total of the night. If they were able to make that stop there, get a score, we could be talking about a 2-score game that had a lot of potential, but now it's still such a tall mountain to climb.
So the extra point team will come out. Eli Jimenez, 31 of 33 on the year in his PATs. Junior kicker knocks it in. Do you think you could go out and make an extra point right now?
No.
Definitive no.
When I played for the St. Louis Battlehawks, they were doing this big thing. They were like, we're going to call someone up every single week, and they're going to try and make an extra point. And if you make it, we'll give you $5,000 out of the coach's pockets. Yup. Week 1, I was last on the depth chart, had to beg to get my spot back. Ended up making the team after a really good camp. They're like, Bruno Reagan, get down here. Week 1, you're going for the kick. I thought I was about to get paid. Man, I was practicing in the corner all practice. They just let me shanked it terribly. Awful. Everyone booed me on the field. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Everyone made it after that, by the way. I was the only one to ever miss.
Sorry I brought it up.
No, it's fun memories, to be honest with you.
Were you making them in practice and you just choked in the moment? Or was it a deal where it was just never going to happen?
It was never going to happen. And I have Hispanic blood flowing through my veins. You think I could kick a dang football? Absolutely. My ancestors frowning upon me in what should have been free money.
So Lebanon cuts the Riverdale lead to 21. the Warriors will get it back and try to continue what has been a great offensive performance as they recover the onside kick.
Lebanon had success when they had that onside kick right up the middle where their kicker was able to recover. There they tried to angle it a little bit, but it was well recovered.
And Jaden Jones lands on it. Gavin Hampton, the junior quarterback, transfer from Ravenwood High School, comes out. Man, you think about that Ravenwood quarterback room only a year ago with the Boston College commit Femi Babalola, the Navy commit Maverick Chance, who are still doing their thing for the Raptors, and Gavin Hampton, who's collecting all sorts of Power 4 offers. And now plying his trade with the Riverdale Warriors, having a fantastic season.
Yeah, what's it called? It's like that one meme where it's like, oh no, my lobster's too delicious and buttery. That's what it was like to be a Ravenwood offensive staffer.
Hand off to Vaughn. Bright future for that young man, as he is brought down for no gain. Over 200 yards on the night for the sophomore.
It's really stuck out to me tonight. It's just how, every game in Tennessee is physical football, but usually around the third and fourth quarter, that's where teams start to temper away. This game has remained extremely physical all the way up until this point, even down 3 to 4 scores. There's just that level of fight that you only see in a playoff game.
Hampton. Vaughn bounces outside. Running room. 30-yard line and out of bounds inside the 25. He is just a jet stream when he gets into the open field. 26 yards and a huge night for Jacob Vaughn. Rolls on.
Looked like Donovan House right there at the right tackle position. Does such a good job. He reaches and extends the play and then gets his head on the outside to spring on. Just a great effort edge by the offensive line and Vaughn.
236 and 2 touchdowns on a career night for the sophomore, who has raced past 1,000 scrimmage yards on the season tonight. Corbin Reynolds in motion, gets the handoff, looking for the sideline. Lebanon players fly to him. Busby brings him down. Riverdale is looking to reestablish that 4-score lead. Under 10 minutes to play in the game. Both teams with all 3 timeouts, but got to think Lebanon needs a turnover, some sort of spark to put themselves back into the discussion here in a winner-go-home matchup.
Different type of night with the hour-long delay. Saw football players walking around through the storms for a little bit around 5. Now here we are 6 hours later, finishing up the game.
Middle, Vaughn picking off of tacklers. Juan Stafford eventually swings him down. Yeah, rain was pelting down from mid-afternoon to almost right up until kickoff. Cleared up right around 7:30, kicking off at 8 here at Lebanon, an hour delayed. And you can see it, the product of it on both jerseys here, especially the white of Riverdale. On 3rd and 3. Gavin Hampton, coming off a fantastic performance in a loss against an elite Oakland defense. Calls his own number and runs for the first down.
Got just enough there, Lucas.
Good scrambling quarterback, Gavin Hampton. That puts him at 46 yards.
Has a rushing touchdown on the night himself.
A junior at Riverdale, but technically part of the class of 2028 when it comes to his recruiting status. Kind of a unique twist on what is the modern world of college football recruiting.
Yeah, around, I was talking to you pregame, like around 2014 to 16, it was like the last of like the common years. Now you just see so much of a wild card of stuff, reclassification and different years in prep academies, different world.
Jacob Vaughn into a pile. Helmet comes off in the process.
A Lebanon player he doesn't have his shoulder pads.
I was going to say.
We don't have that on camera right now, but he has to carry his shoulder pads off of the field now.
That is a first on Friday Night Rivals.
I can't believe we didn't get to see it. There it is. What number is that right there? I couldn't even see it. It's just so scrambled up.
I mean, that is just unbelievable. The whole deal came off. That is Brayson Bueller, the senior defensive lineman, frustrated after the play. Helmet, shoulder pads, jersey, the whole 9 yards.
Take a look in the middle, how physical that game is. And, yeah, it just gets ripped off. They're having a war in the middle of this field.
Vaughn looking for touchdown number 3.
Just to go back on that, Lucas, how respectable that you would rather get stripped of your pads than move your feet and give up your gap. Mad respect right there.
Got to tip the cap to Brayson Bueller, who likely is playing his final few minutes here of his Lebanon career. Gavin Hampton on 3rd and 5.
They use every bit of the play clock they can. 12 seconds left.
Under 7 minutes of game clock. Lobs intercepted. Lebanon comes up with the turnover. John Binion, his 4th interception of the season, leads the team, and he gives his offense the football on the 20. This Lebanon team has life, and they've got a chance to go down and make it a 2-score game with 6:39 to go in the first round of the 6A playoffs. Maryville awaits as the 6A bracket is starting to develop. Dobbins, Bennett, and Blackman will face off in the second round. Winner of that game will meet the winner of Maryland in either Lebanon or Riverdale in the quarterfinal. But still 6:39 to go in this one, and the Lebanon Blue Devils have some life here after a John Binion interception in the end zone. Second turnover forced by the Blue Devils defense tonight. And Lebanon comes back out on offense on its own 20. Down 3 scores, 6:39 on the clock, all 3 timeouts. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid downstairs. That one's on me.
No, it's my fault.
Austin Harrison on the 2nd and 10.
I was just going to say, Lucas, you have to imagine if things go Lebanon's way and the way they want to play offense, this could be their last offensive series. They go down, march down the field with their running attack. It'll chop off so much clock. If it goes their way, of course.
Now, this is where Lebanon has to get out of its comfort zone, right? Hard to be ground and pound with 6:33 on the clock and 21 points to make up.
Yeah, and you got to remember, a wise man once said it, you play to win the football game. So you have to imagine, even in a circumstance where we might, in the booth, might be calling for the game and already in a decided state, they're going to play to win the game, and their path to winning the game is going over the top.
And Lebanon will take its first time out of the second half with 6:32, so we'll take it with them. And we'll come back to the Blue Devils trying to make another push here with the season on the line.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
.632 left, 21 points to make up, and a chance for Lebanon to make it a two-score game, but they got to cover 80 yards to do it. Welcome back. The Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Winner moves on to face Maryville in the second round. Loser ends its season. Austin Harrison trying to escape on the run. He throws the football, and it's incomplete at the feet of Busby. 3rd and 10. Chuck Gentry, year 9, 60 and 39 in that stretch. For a Lebanon program that was wandering in the wilderness for over a decade before he was hired, before the 2017 season, Lebanon had not had a winning record since 2006. They had not had a playoff win since 2004, and Chuck Gentry rectified that very quickly at this program. Harrison swallowed up as Julius Malden and company get him down. 4th and long. And with 6 minutes to go, Blue Devils may have no choice but to keep it on offense here, but there is a timeout on the field. Official timeout. There's a drone down in the secondary. Another first. Full of those tonight on Friday Night Rivals. Let's see. Let's count them up. We've had a touchdown that looked to be a touchdown, but was ripped away at the last second as an interception for Riverdale. Big play early that helped Riverdale turn it into a 14-0 lead.
Let's count the drone right now, since right in front of us is the drone.
The drone has landed on the field.
A
First
player
time
lost
for that.
their shoulder pads on
with
the
the
field.
helmet. What else? There's another one we were missing.
Yeah.
Not the first rain delay of the season, unfortunately, as they will punt it away here. Eli Jimenez boots it back to Zayden Jones, who fair catches on his own, or excuse me, on the Lebanon 46. So Riverdale, with 5:32 to go, has a chance to see this thing out and pick up playoff win number 76 in the history of the program. Don't forget that Fridays at 9:30 are after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Trust, will bring you the biggest plays, the best hits. Jill Jelnick with the highlights, scores from high school football action across the mid-state. Sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. Evan Hampton, the healthy dose of Jacob Vaughn here, trying to close things out. What a night for the sophomore back.
Hard to believe, only a sophomore. Going to have a lot of years to build on the success he's had tonight, this season. Looking forward to following this young man's career.
247 rush yards on the night for Jacob Vaughn. That brings him up to 883 on the season. We'll have a chance to cross 1,000 next week at Riverdale. A couple of powerhouse programs meeting up for that one. Again, Vaughn up the right seam, bouncing off of tackles. Jacob Vaughn's night's not over yet as he strolls into the end zone, but there's a flag.
Looks like that's going to be called back. I saw the defender and offensive player both throw their hands in the air trying. They will call holding on that side of the hash, right about the 20.
They will walk it back. Vaughn thought he had a hat trick. Did you ever have a moment where it was your penalty that wiped away a touchdown that maybe would have made a career night or something like that, and you felt like you had to issue a personal apology to the skill player?
No. And if I did, it's in the deepest recession of my mind. I think the closest I ever got, it was 7-7, and we were playing ranked K-State at home in 2017. We were right on the goal line, and I rolled the ball in shotgun to Kyle Shermer. I rolled it. So we rolled on the ground. He picked it up and ran it in for the touchdown. I looked immediately at him. He was so mad. I looked at him and said, "You're welcome."
Won the game, too. Vaughn trying to run it back, and he tumbles over the 30. So Riverdale and Maryville will play for a spot in the quarterfinal to face the winner between Dobbins-Bennett and Blackman. Talk about a couple of powerhouse programs. Maryville, obviously, just a dynastic run over generations of high school football in Tennessee. 17 state championships as you get a look at Vaughn's numbers. They're a massive night. 272 and 2 scores. Riverdale, 4-time state champions in their own right. And always fun when you get into those moments in the playoffs where it's just some of the biggest, most legendary programs in the state battling it out with the season on the line.
Absolutely. Lebanon always a gracious host. This is my second time coming here. The first time was under more normal circumstances, obviously. We knew the weather was coming in here for the second time around. And honestly, mad respect for the Spirit Squad, for the band, the crowd that came out here. I know we are taking a look at the visitor side on the camera, but the Lebanon crowd has showed out here for all things considered.
3:10 and counting. Vaughn bounces it. He's trying to get to 300 on the night at this point. And he dives, might have just enough. Looks like they may rule him short. 3rd and 10. The tried and true faithful at Lebanon High School. Hello from Tommy Bryan Press Box at Danny Watkins Stadium.
You can't see me. Lucas put me in the corner. Said I was too ugly to be on TV.
Fourth and 2, Riverdale keeping the offense on the field, and Riley Talley moved early.
Number 1, 5-yard penalty.
Called on Corbin Reynolds. Phillips, or white hat, makes it 4th and 7. See if that changes Riverdale's operation. So Lebanon's season will end with an 8-3 record. And again, you do have to tip the cap to the senior class, turning things around from a 5-5 campaign a year ago, missing the playoffs and making the changes necessary in the offseason to host a playoff game in 2025. Hampton will let this play clock run down inside 10 seconds. Riverdale will go here. Little bubble screen. Riley Talley has blockers up the middle. Dragged down at the 10. Bart Durham first down for Riverdale. And on first and goal, the Warriors can continue to chew this clock and march their way to their 8th win of the season.
Good play call. Dialed up. Getting the practice that receiver screen, too, which you might need later in the playoff. Good use of your time here in this fourth quarter.
Little Friday night rivals after dark. After a delay, pushed back this kick. They'll hand it off. This time, Chris Peters into the game at running back. And will continue to chew clock. Several games getting moved up to Thursday and played last night as well. And a month from now, they'll be deciding state champions at Finley Stadium, Chattanooga. Riverdale will hope to be there as they took one step closer tonight. Victory formation for the Warriors. They're going to win this football game 28-7. Will Kreisky with win number 75 in his Riverdale career as the head coach. The Warriors with playoff win number 76 in their storied history. Hard-fought game. Hampton take another knee. The Warriors are headed to East Tennessee to take on the Maryville Rebels in the second round of the 6A playoffs. Lebanon Blue Devils season ends at 8-3. An all-out effort from Lebanon in all three phases, but end of the day, Bruno, Riverdale, just the more physical team up front felt like the difference.
Yeah, especially that front seven on defense. I mean, there were some opportunities. I think Lebanon's defense and special teams had a lot of explosive plays. We saw those onside kicks, but it was just so hard for Lebanon to find the end zone tonight. I think even when Hampton might have had an off night, there were some people on the offensive side of football, like Vaughn, picking it up. It was just all-around great effort. Both teams played hard, physical all the way to the end.
So Riverdale avenges those playoff losses here from 2021 and 2022, but more importantly, they stay alive and move on to the second round. 28-7 the final. We'll give you the play and player of the game and more to come coming up next. You can write it in Sharpie. Riverdale on to the second round. They'll visit Maryville a week from tonight, 7 p.m. in East Tennessee. The winner will face either Dobbins-Bennett or Blackman in the 6A quarterfinals. 28-7 the final. Riverdale gets it done against the Lebanon Blue Devils, and Sammy Kincaid is downstairs with Will Kreisky and his football team.
Coach, you get it done. The resiliency of this team to go out here whenever it's not the best playing conditions, and you get the win. What are you most proud of this team?
Well, just the way the kids fought. I mean, we had a long day. We got on the bus at 4 o'clock. We got here at 5 o'clock. We sat around till 7:30 before we can come around, and it was a long day. Schedule, we're a routine type of team. The schedule was messed up. Now, I think we played a little flat, but that's part of the situation. That's part of it. But the kids did play well together.
Absolutely, and you got a big game next week. Already moving on to Maryville, so
you're not even ready to enjoy this. I want to enjoy this for a little bit.
Well, you got them down on one knee. You got them ready to turn the page too. How long do you celebrate this one?
You don't. When you get ready to play Maryville, you don't celebrate at all. You got to turn the page and move on. And Maryville's a good football team, but I know this team will be excited and ready to go next week.
Well, I hope that you get to celebrate for a little bit with your team, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you again. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Will Kreisky and his football team move on. It is survive and advance, and the Riverdale Warriors are still alive, and we'll get to our player of the game shortly. But first, the Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game for a Lebanon Blue Devils team that fought from start to finish, Bruno, and pulled out everything. The bag of tricks from special teams to the offense. This one, a little bit of razzle-dazzle to get Gianna Zeta out in space. We'll get a look here in a moment. That's the fake punt that Zeta caught. Either one qualifies.
Yeah, that we saw, and you were mentioning earlier, we were counting up all the wacky plays we could see right there. And there it is, Zeta with the one hand over the shoulder, dragging down and almost getting out there. There were just so many plays that were so unique to tonight. So we decided on that one for our Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game.
Either one works, no doubt. Lebanon going into the bag of tricks, especially on special teams. Let's get to our UA Local 572 player of the game. One of the biggest reasons why the Riverdale Warriors are moving on tonight. Just a monster performance in this one from the sophomore running back, Jacob Vaughn. Career night for Vaughn, who's had a really nice season. 27 carries, 279 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the sophomore. And he smashes 1,000 scrimmage yards on the season, over 880 rush yards on the year.
And it's what they needed coming into tonight. Obviously the weather, the condition, everyone's talking about can they pass the football. Hampton obviously can always do it, but Vaughn really got it done with his feet tonight, was able to acclimate to the field and the conditions, was dragging people even when they had grips of his jersey. He just did such a good job on key plays. He was explosive. 4th downs were one of his explosive plays. Just a career night for the young man.
Presented by UA Local 572. So the bell cow back, along with Gavin Hampton at quarterback, and this young, talented Riverdale team will move on to go to Maryville in East Tennessee in the second round a week from tonight. And hope you'll join us on MyTV30 Sports again in 2 weeks, Friday, November 21st, as our TSSAA playoff journey continues for round 3. Kickoff coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on MyTV30. Stay tuned for matchup information again 2 weeks from tonight, Friday, November 21st. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, UA Local 572, and Sonic, who, through their contributions to the program, make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Friday Night Rivals telecasts: the United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, Fort Durham Injury Law, South College, Wilson Bank and Trust, Western Kentucky University, Greenway Kia, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Riverdale High School and our host, Lebanon High School. From our partner, Bruno Reagan, he's signing off for the final time this season. Sammy Kincaid down on the field, and our entire fantastic crew. I'm Lucas Panzica saying good night. Final score tonight in the first round of the 6A playoffs. Riverdale 28, Lebanon 7.